Thanks everybody for coming. Before we start, you might want to sit on this side, and the reason is the podium kind of blocks these chairs. So if you're on that side of the room, you probably won't be able to see us. So you may want to kind of drift that way if you want to actually view us. If on the other hand, you definitely don't want to see us and blank us out, sit all the way over there. Okay, with that, we'll go ahead and start with the introductions.
Hello. Hello, everybody. This is Shweta. I lead the DevOps team in Albertsons for both digital and data science and pharmacy portfolios. So I'm here to take you guys through our digital transformation journey, which we took from last 2 years, where we stand now, what are the challenges we faced. So I'll walk you through our journey. So let's get started.
Great. And one last note, I'm David from Azure Product Marketing. The format we're going to do is Sweta will do a little bit of a monologue at first, kind of describing what they're doing at Albertsons, the kind of platforms they're building, a little bit about the business issues they're trying to solve with that. Then we're going to transition to kind of a talk show sort of a format, where I'll ask her a bunch of questions and we'll go to some things in more details. And then the last 10 or 15 minutes, we'll open it up for audience questions. So as you go along, if you can think about the kind of questions that you want to ask at the end, please do so, and then we'll have the 2 mics here for that. Okay.
So before we dive deep, I just want you guys to understand what Albertsons is and what do we do. So I just put a 2-minute video clip, which basically explains our company, what we do, and what is our vision, mission, and everything. So let's get started. Thank you for watching this video. So I'll just go till deep into who we are. We are the second largest supermarket chains in North America. We have around 2,300 stores. We have 35 states, and we operate on under 21 different banners. So if you don't know who Albertsons is, you might know what Safeway is, Tom Thumb is. So we all operate under unified banner, which is Albertsons. But the technology powering all the banners is one technology. It's one unified team who has been working in the back end to power all these apps, web applications, the entire technology in the stores. So we have 2,007 to 75,000 talented employees, so all those details. And we also operate 1,700 pharmacies. And even the technology powered by pharmacies is built homegrown. And most of our digital applications are currently live on Microsoft Azure. So what is our vision? So we are positioned for growth and backed by technology. So from the last 3 years, we started this journey in 2017. We took an accelerated path. So the first biggest challenge is we were running very old legacy applications in our data centers. So the first bigger challenge which we have to tackle is how do we enhance this stack? So we had a huge knowledge gap there. We had people who doesn't know what this technology is or how to manage it. So the biggest challenge which we had is to understand our business use cases and then trying to build a brand new platform, which we were able to do it. So we invested a lot in our digital platforms, on our applications, web applications. And then definitely as we were doing a lot on our digital side, we also invested a lot on our storefront. So basically, we developed our brands, we marketed them, and now we do have $4 billion brands, which not only sells in our own stores, those are being exported to European markets. So what is this unified digital experience? So 3 years back, when we actually look at our app structure, so we had multiple apps. So we had like 21 banners have their own mobile applications powered by own backend systems. And e-commerce and loyalty, we have loyalty applications and e-commerce applications. Both of them have their own applications. So there's no way that a loyalty is integrated with our e-commerce portfolio. I think that was a bigger challenge. So when a customer comes to our store, we don't want them to be using 2 apps, one app for just loyalty program and then going to your mobile to check out. It has been a challenging thing. So the first challenge which we tackled is how do we bring all these channels together? How do we give the customer the experience which they wanted, where they can shop in whichever way, but it should be seamless. I think that's the journey we took in the first couple of years, where we try to bring this omni-channel experience. So basically, we combined our web and mobile applications. We merged all our banners together so that they can be powered by single backend services. So we adopted microservices technologies. So most of our apps are currently powered by our backend systems, which are all hosted on Azure. So, and this is what I was just talking about. So we basically unified our customer experience. So during that process, we were able to use our responsive web design to come up with brand new look and feel, and all our native apps were built, and they're really doing well with our app ratings and everything. And we adapted to Adobe AEM as our front end, and then the places where we couldn't use it, we were able to use our Angular and other scripting languages. So we have also implemented A/B testing using test and target. So we do target marketing now using both Salesforce and Adobe, which has helped us grow our customer base. So if you see right now, we also enhanced our delivery services. We have partnered with Instacart. We do rush delivery using that. And we also do subscription-based delivery, which is home delivery using our own trucks. And we have Drive Up and Go, where you can order online and pick it up in the store. So all these new services were released in the past 1 year or so. And so the biggest challenge where we have faced in our stores is our labor. So especially in the areas like California and other places where it's becoming challenging for hiring. So we decided to go with our robotic automation centers. We have built our micro-fulfillment centers in San Francisco and San Jose facilities, which are currently operational. And we are already seeing a huge turnover using that. So our delivery times were cut short, and our pickup and stocking options have improved. So we are planning to roll out for 50 more locations. So it's pretty amazing to see how these facilities were built and how robots does all the picking and adding to the cart and stuff like that. And again, the technology which we have used, we have partnered with Takeoff, which is a robotic automation system. But again, all the backend services or the core services are built by our own engineering team. And again, these are all hosted on Azure, consuming multiple services. So, and then we have also explored new business models. We have introduced our own Safeway marketplace. For the items which we don't sell in stores, we also have a way to shop on our marketplace, and we have partnered with Grubhub, DoorDash for all kind of deliveries. So, and then we took this journey, we started this, so now that we have modernized our digital platform, so we want to see how we can modernize our stores. So we started using this technology from Azure, where we were able to build this Scan and Go, which is completely built using Azure functions and serverless. So we were able to introduce that in our bigger stores. And we have introduced this Fuel One Touch app, where you can just pay on your app, just go to any of your fuel stations which Safeway operates, and just all you do is just get out and then pump your gas and you can leave. So, so we were that was a hugely successful project. Fuel One Touch was really doing wonders for us in certain regions. So I think all these devices were connected now. So it's been an amazing journey in the past 1 year. So, so now that we explained what we have done, so how did we start this journey? So basically, we were very clear on what we are going to develop in-house versus what we are going to consume as a service. So we did not want to reinvent the wheel. So we want to use all the standard solutions which industry has already embraced. Just like our identity management solution, we have partnered with Azure AD for B2B integrations, and we have partnered with Okta for our B2C integrations. And then wherever possible, we have used our PaaS services, especially our big data infrastructure is completely driven by platform as a service components. We use Azure Data Lake, we use HD Insights and Databricks. All these platforms, we really didn't want to invest in building ourselves, so we basically consume them as platform as services. So where did we go with IaaS? This is where we did a differentiation. Anytime we have a core service which we wanted to showcase or which we want to bring in a capability, I think that's where we invested a lot. We hired a lot of engineers, so who were responsible for building the use cases which are very unique to our customers and our company. So this is the approach we took: SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. A combination of these three really helped us to get where we are. So with that, this is our digital enablement platform, which we have, which we are in the process of building. Most of the components are already there, but definitely this is our roadmap, and our plan is to get to it by end of 2020. So if you see, we have not only modernized our digital platforms, but we also modernized our networking in the stores. So we had customer complaints saying that our Wi-Fi doesn't work well in the stores. So we basically started modernizing our Wi-Fi bandwidth to WANs and VoIPs. So we started with network modernization, and definitely with cloud, we got our unique challenges of security. So we were able to bring in all parts of security into this ecosystem. So we have a WAF which we are using, and then we have integrated our Azure systems with our semantic security services. So core applications and APIs are completely built in-house. We have huge engineering teams who are working on different portfolios to build those APIs. So we have built orchestration services. We use all kind of orchestration services, and even if you see there, some of them are PaaS services from Azure itself. But we also use ServiceNow and Jira, Jenkins, you name it, we have used all the services there. And then we have built a data and analytics platform. Being in retail, we believe data science would be really impactful for us to make decisions. So we have invested a lot in our data and analytics platform. So if you see, we have built our big data data lake, and AI and machine learning models. And then we have we have a program called Customer 360, which basically tries to pull all these things together. So if you think about our cloud strategy, our plan is by 2022, we really want to move out of data centers. So we started, the journey which we started in the digital platform, we are extending it to all the other areas in our business, be it our supply chain, be it our stores. So we are taking this huge undertaking of connecting all our 2,300 stores to Azure using express routes. So by 2022, our plan is to move out of our data centers, and we'll be completely on cloud, on public cloud. So this is the architecture which we have embraced. Most of our backend services are built in a cloud native way. All of them are microservices at this point. And we have embraced Cloud Foundry, and we are also in the process of using Kubernetes, which is Azure offering, AKS, as part of our COTS deployments. So the reason we went with microservices architecture is we want to scale independently, and we want every service to be deployed and developed independently. I think so the whole time what our team specifically does, this is what my core DevOps and platform team does. So we have created a containerization platform, and then we did an integration with all the services around it. And most of the work went in here. And if we talk about infrastructure as a code, every component which you see is codified at this point. So we don't go to production without an infrastructure of code written on any component. So this is our ecosystem. Basically, we are using all industry leading technologies, be it Kafka, which is our predominant streaming framework. We have embraced Azure Cosmos DB. Our e-commerce platform is powered by it at this point, and we are planning to extend it to all the other platforms too. So this is our take on infrastructure as a code. We strongly believe that anything which we want to put it on the cloud, we will be writing a code around it. So every pipeline triggers from our GitHub. So we want to make sure we have a repeatable code which we can use to spin up any number of environments when needed. So we have heavily invested in our infrastructure as a code. So what did we achieve after this 2 years of journey? We are really seeing our fast application development and deployment times. So the times where it used to take weeks to deploy a feature, now we see multiple deployments on every single day. So I have teams deploying every few hours a new feature into production. And we have a highly scalable and self-healing platform. And we developed a workflow which has increased the developer productivity. And we have optimized our costs. While we are doing all this, we were able to optimize our costs. And we were also able to bring in our infrastructure security. And we were able to enhance our monitoring and logging. And a very well thought through our back was enabled on almost all the components. We also have introduced dynamic routing using user-defined routes on Azure. And definitely, we have reduced our operations overhead. With that, I'll let David take over.
Come have a seat. I'll bring the clicker. Yeah. Let's go ahead and go back to one of these slides here. Okay. So thank you so much for that overview. So let's delve into this a little bit. So there's a lot going on here. Albertsons did, it's not a cloud native company. It didn't start 5 years ago. So there's a lot of both cloud stuff and legacy technology here. How are you deciding what's going to go in the cloud, what's going to go on premise, and what's the general, when we look at this, what lives where in terms of your architecture, in terms of this diagram? How many things are legacy? Where does the cloud stuff live in this picture? Just kind of walk us through it. Yeah.
So if you see this picture, right, so if you look at our e-commerce and loyalty space, this is where a lot of digital transformation happened. So these are the systems which are built on cloud. So predominantly loyalty is something which we have built on the cloud, but e-commerce has been in our data center for a while. So we had challenges scaling it, and it was a legacy code. It's like a 20-year-old code, and we couldn't scale it. But again, we couldn't even modernize it with the time frame which we had. So our thought process is, let's give a facelift to our company. So we wanted our web interfaces to look really good. So what we did was, as part of the journey, first we thought, let's do our lift and shift. So we took our e-commerce platform from our data center, and we wanted to move it as is to our Azure cloud. But as part of the process, I thought, what is that they're missing in that platform to expand? So what we realized, it's pretty interesting to understand that they didn't have dev machines to work on. So basically, there were multiple developers trying to share one particular machine where you have all these softwares installed.
This is on-premise or in the cloud?
This is in on-premise.
This is on-premise.
So look at the productivity challenge, because people are waiting to even check in any code. And they didn't have any kind of pipelines. So deployments were really manual. So, and then I asked them, so how do we want to enhance it? And I had a huge pushback from the team saying that this is what we have been doing from last 20 years. We will continue to do this. So we know how to do a manual deployment. It just takes 4 hours. What's a big deal? We will do it. Anyways, we are only releasing once in a month. And I said, okay, why can't we give it a try? Let's see how a pipeline looks around it. So when we moved this platform to our public cloud, we also were able to give them individual working stations. We were able to create VMs with images where they can use all their software to run around it. And then we also gave them a good pipeline where any check-in should be able to trigger some tests, and they will be able to deploy it. Fast forward, after a year, there was this particular incident which I really want to share. So this was, Microsoft was having a huge outage on their VSTS systems. So that night, we had a huge deployment. And then I was on the call, and we realized VSTS is down. There's no way that we can do a deployment from there. So I have asked one of these developers, you know how to do a manual deployment, right? Why can't you go ahead? Postpone our deployment. Let's do it next day. And I was really happy. I was expecting that, oh, let me hear something like that. I was thinking that, okay, we'll do it. We know how to do it. But the whole, the whole thought process has changed. And now the same legacy code, which they thought they couldn't expand at all, from the last 1 year, they have introduced a lot of features into the same code, while there's a parallel team stood up to build the whole features into a microservices architecture, but we still have to survive, right? So I think that is something which is very impactful for us in our journey. So if you now see that's the e-commerce platform, we put it on the cloud, and now we have integrated our loyalty and e-commerce platform.
So it sounds like some of the stuff that you thought was kind of approaching end of life, it was technology debt, that after you moved into the cloud, actually you could innovate it for a bit longer perhaps than you thought you could. Great. Yeah. So I know also, in this diagram, we've got networking stuff on one side, security stuff on the other. You had mentioned to me that there were some interesting VPN issues that happened. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. This interesting VPN issues. So apparently, as much as we speak, we are building on cloud, or we are moving things to the cloud. There is this very common use case where we want our cloud systems to talk to our downstream systems, which are still sitting in our data center. So to do that, what we have done is we have built a site-to-site VPN between Azure and our on-prem data center. But our UI, which is also AEM-based UI, it runs on AWS systems. So we basically built a site-to-site VPN between AWS and our data center. Apparently, our network team has decided to use the same device between Azure and AWS, connecting to our data center. So, and then we get IP address allocation from our data center team. So apparently, I think it's a human error or whatever. So they allocated some conflicting IP ranges to both AWS team and Azure team. So what happens
Duplicates.
when duplicates? Okay. So when we apply these changes into our systems, and when we started sending requests through that tunnel, they got confused where to route because two clouds are trying to call, and then both the clouds gave up saying that there is an attack going on in this route, and let's not send any packets downstream. So it basically brought down our entire system. Not only the applications which are hosted on Azure, the applications hosted on AWS got impacted. And it's not just these two clouds. And apparently, our checkpoint team has shared the same appliance with some of the supply chain applications. So we basically brought down all the systems. So it was a great learning experience. What we realized is we can never have conflicting IP ranges. That's one thing. And then we want to isolate our loads. So if these are business critical applications, we definitely don't want them to be sharing things. I think that's where microservices doesn't end with just your application. It has to be cascaded all the way down. I think that's the process which we have implemented. Now we have dedicated networks between different clouds, at least for all the critical applications. And we also have implemented our QoS, quality of service, in those paths.
So in the related area, let's go forward this slide a little bit, is secrets and security tokens and things like that. And you had also mentioned to me the challenges that come up when you've got container-based applications and how you want to manage, secrets with those versus other apps that are, you want to have a somewhat unified security protocol for everything, but sometimes the technology you want to use is particular to one or the other.
Yeah, so we use our Cloud Foundry, which is our container platform, and it comes with its built-in CredHub, which is basically credential management system. So we started there, and we started putting all our credentials there. But then when it comes to infrastructure, we were also embracing Azure Key Vault. So, and then it's getting challenging. And then we have this preferred identity management system where we use CyberArk, which is where we manage our privileged accounts. So now in the same ecosystem, we have like 3 different systems like a Key Vault and CyberArk and a CredHub. And it was really confusing for teams to use it, what to use it, where to put what, and everything. I think the first thing what I have done is I said, let's just standardize on it. So too many tools, sometimes it's going to create a lot more confusion than what we wanted. So we standardized on Key Vault, but the challenge with Key Vault is an Azure PaaS service. But the adoption with other services or the integrations with other services were not that seamless. So that's where we run into challenges. And then we had to work with the Key Vault product team to enhance their product to support this kind of integrations. I think now we have unified our Key Vault strategy, and we use Key Vault for almost all the credential management.
Do you have the so in this picture, you've got Jenkins up here, obviously, playing its role and as part of the DevOps pipeline. Do you have a sort of a green light check for the secrets aspect of the containerized applications as well? Is that built into the development
Yes, it's
process?
built into the development process.
So hopefully, at least for the containerized applications, there's a you shall not pass through this gate if you did it wrong.
Yes, that's
okay,
right.
Great. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff going on in this picture. Actually, we're pointing up here, but it's over there for the audience.
I can see that. So
You've got Cosmos DB going on here. Bosch, there's a lot of pieces. And then you also mentioned infrastructure as code, as kind of a concept. So explain to me, at least especially when you get into Cosmos and PCF and serverless, these are all pretty cutting edge things. What's going on here? Which of the applications that you mentioned are built using those? Okay. And how does that fit into infrastructure as code?
Okay. So we are a big time NoSQL shop. So we run most of our loyalty applications are powered by Cassandra. But the challenge was that when it comes to HA and DR, we are having challenges to expand our Cassandra footprint. So then we said, okay, why can't we experiment with Azure Cosmos DB, because it has its built-in geo-replication between multi-regions. So I think we took one API. We started with our Cosmos DB. Basically, we used Cassandra API, which is basically a layer on top of it, Azure Cosmos DB. So we started with one API. But during that process, we learned a lot. So basically, first challenge which we faced is we didn't know how many RUs a particular query can consume. So the documentation was not that good because we went with theoretical stuff, but when we actually ran into a test or a production environment, which completely blew off. So one query which was running on like 8 RUs. RUs is the way they calculate to reserve the capacity on a database. But the moment we made it to production, it literally blew up by 100 times, and we had no clue.
Blew up, you meaning the size of it or the runtime?
It didn't work. The 8 RUs, the capacity never really worked. And so the moment we run into these challenges, your application gets throttled and you can't process anything. I think that's where we had challenges, and then we realized that this database is not designed, at least the version which we were running, were not designed to run complex queries on them. So anytime you run a query, any complex query, adding more data into it or retrieving more data into it, it is going to throttle. And the challenge which we faced is it didn't have a auto-scaling capability at that time. They just GA'd today, I guess. So I believe we'll go and explore that option. So I think those are all the challenges which we ran into, and then we directly engaged our product group saying that this is not working, so what do you want us to do? So they basically worked with us, and they optimized their Azure Cosmos database, and they released a new version and they made it a private preview for us, so just to address our challenges. And I think once we adopted to this new stack, we are seeing a much better performance.
How much time lapsed between you discovering kind of where the choke point was versus?
It took around, I would say, 4 to 6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks, okay. So in cloud terms, that's not too bad. Okay. And then let's talk about infrastructure as code. Now, a lot of people use that term and they mean different things. What I hear most often is people using it to say, well, I have logic built into the scaling of application, which affects runtime deployment via some sort of template, depending on whatever they're using. It could be something that's happening in Spinnaker, could be happening via Kubernetes templates. There's all sorts of different ways to implement it. How did you guys implement it?
So we have divided this infrastructure of code into 2 different areas. So one thing is platform automation. The entire platform itself is automated using Terraform templates. But we have also embraced ARM templates for PaaS automation. So if you have to deploy our APIM system or our gateways or our networking, so that's where we have used infrastructure as a code. We basically coded everything. So it's not like none of our strict policy was we don't put anything on cloud without a code attached to it, be it infrastructure or an application.
And are you using Terraform and ARM together or somewhat separately?
So it depends upon the use cases. Terraform is a most widely used infrastructure automation or a configuration tool. But we started with ARM templates for most of our PaaS services, and now we are trying to standardize and trying to move towards Terraform across everything.
Great, great. Okay, we'll do one last question here before we kind of get to the audience, which is sort of, we'll talk big pictures here for a second. So where'd what were the detours?
Go to the before slide, I think.
Yeah, this one, here we go, yeah.
So I think when we started this journey, this was our initial perception. So everyone thought that if there is a challenge or if an application is not scaling, just put it on the cloud, it should scale. What's a big deal? Everyone are moving to cloud, anything on the cloud should solve things automatically. That was our initial perception, but the reality was way different from that. You have to put the amount of work to make things work on cloud. I think if you go to my next slide, I think this is where we took a lot of detours. So something which we started would be so simple. We ran into challenges almost at every point. I think that's what this is representative. We ran into a lot of challenges. We have to take a lot of U-turns. We need to work with product groups. So we ran into hard limits of Azure, to product shortcomings on the Azure, or understanding of the stack on Azure. So we have faced everything. And biggest challenge was around the networking and security. So the way we thought our networking would work never really worked for us. So we have to figure out a better way to optimize our network.
So what I've seen happen at some customers when they hit this kind of stuff, and you can tell me whether you guys did the same, is that, the cloud itself, Azure and every other cloud, is still being expanded, and the use cases are widening, and all the engineering teams are still finding out, where are the edges that they haven't explored yet. And then they run into customers who bump into those edges, right? And then when it works well, there's a good dialogue between, in this case, like your engineering team and the Azure engineering team, and trying to figure out, okay, yes, we know we want this part of Azure to work better, and then the Azure engineering team starts working on that. But in the meantime, you've still got stuff to build. And then what do you do? How do you kind of manage that sort of interactions?
So the biggest challenge, I would say that, so sometimes we come up with workarounds, which is what until our product comes with a better support, we have come up with a ways to make things work. So one biggest challenge which we had is our InfoSec wanted our internal traffic to have internal routes. So say, for example, if two internal applications wants to talk together, we want it to go through internal routes. Versus we have external customer clients calling us, we want to go through external routes. So our Cloud Foundry has that capability. There is something called split ingress. You can divide your DNS into external routes and internal routes. But unfortunately, our load balancers on Azure don't support that. You only have either internal load balancer or a web load balancer. So what we have done is we took both the solutions. So we adapted our internal route to talk through internal load balancer, and we had an external DNS talk to our external load balancer, and then expose that external route to our clients. And for all the internal transactions, we were going through internal load balancer versus for external traffic, we were able to go to the external.
So that's almost a three-way situation where you've got your team, Azure, and then PCF,
the vendors, because this is where your challenge is, because Azure is embracing a lot of vendor products, and then the assumption which we think is it's fully adaptable, you can go and use it, but which is not the case. You have a lot of work to do to make that work.
Great. Okay. So we're ready to transition to questions from the audience. So we have two microphones here. We'll use this one and this one. I'm going to go ahead and, for the time being, flip it back to, I don't know, what do you think, this slide or the big architecture slide? We'll leave it on this one for now. Okay. So if you have questions, go ahead and come to one of the microphones. Nobody? Okay.
I have a question about the on-prem remaining environment. How much do you have, how much, I guess, applications or services or infrastructure do you have running on-prem, and what's your plans for keeping the data and the services on-prem versus moving them into cloud? And if you can go in some details of what kind of services are just not moving yet.
You want to go back to the big architecture slide for that one? Because that one's got some, also got some on-prem stuff in it, doesn't it?
So we have around 30% of our workloads currently moved to cloud. And we do have rest 30% of workloads sitting on our private cloud. So we have a VMware private cloud which is sitting in our data center. But the rest 20% of the systems are still in on-prem. So we are trying to see how we can move to either our private cloud or our public cloud. So all these systems are mostly mainframes-based systems, our PeopleSoft system sitting there. So our supply chain interfaces which were built, again, using mainframes and other stuff. I think those are the systems still in on-prem. but we are trying to figure out a better way to move them to. We can't really do a lift and shift because mainframes doesn't support on any of the cloud at this point. So we are trying to come up with strategies to do a migration of the application logic into a new technology and then move it over.
Is your goal like 10 years from now to have everything gone from on-premises, or do you expect that we'll always?
3 years from now.
3 years from now. Okay, your goal is to zip out, nothing.
Our plan is to close our data centers.
Got it, okay. Any other questions? Somebody's coming, okay.
Hi. I was wondering, how much things are you doing sort of with central teams and then sort of with decentral teams? Also when it comes like, for example, to ARM deployments and so on, and the resources, do really the DevOps teams own that, create it themselves? This kind of
So on public cloud, it's all done by decentralized DevOps teams. Still in our data center environment, we have centralized infrastructure teams who are doing the racking and stacking and all kind of stuff. And then they have divided teams. But in DevOps world, we did create smaller teams which are embedded within the portfolios itself. Say, for example, I have multiple DevOps teams where we have embedded them as part of the development teams itself. So that's where we do most of our CI/CD process. And then we also have a centralized platform team which does the which builds the platform for us. For example, if there's a Kubernetes platform which we want to embrace, it's the platform team who builds the platform and then transition that platforms to these teams so that they can manage and support it.
Okay, so a couple of things are the sort of shared platforms or sort of shared resources, and then you have sort of dedicated resources.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. And how do you sort of avoid that there's a lot of like drift or non-standardization or reviewing? That's all via the pipeline?
We have something called Cloud Management Office, which would basically define the guidelines, basically like enterprise architecture team who define the guidelines, be it like, I'll just take an example of naming conventions. How do you name your subscriptions? So they have this standard process which every DevOps team will adopt to it. So they just inherit it and then they use those templates to build around it.
And do you also do some sort of central provisioning or so? Because you mentioned like
so we have also decentralized our provisioning.
Okay.
Because the biggest challenge what we want our DevOps teams to be able to do what they want to do without being dependent on multiple teams. So they do the provisioning also, like VM provisioning and everything. But one standardization what we have done, the images are being built by a standard team, but the provisioning itself will be done by the DevOps team.
I think this is pointing out, I mean, it's not just the technology, there's a process element to it, there's a people element to it.
Yes, yeah.
And you have to get all of those things right, otherwise you're going to get, rogue behaviors and, yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
And it's a big challenge. So because this is not something which a traditional company has ever done. So we basically started small. And I have my manager here who has been instrumental in doing that. He's no longer with the company, but he started the journey. So we started as a small team dedicated to one particular org. And then once we started showing results, we were able to deliver way faster than any other portfolio teams in the company. I think that's where the adoption has started. Now every VP or a GVP coming and saying that we need our own DevOps team because this is the need which we want and this is the agility which we want to bring into our teams. I think that's how our DevOps footprint has expanded.
You also mentioned like sort of the knowledge gap in the early phases, and also like if new teams and onboarded, you have sort of prerequisite that they have to take care of.
Yes, so there's a different kind of skill set because traditionally in any traditional infrastructure team, so you have, at least in my company, we had dedicated teams who just focuses on operating system, who just focuses on monitoring or who just focuses on VM, storage or everything. But when it comes to DevOps, the way we built our teams is we took engineers. So we basically wanted this DevOps team to be built with software engineers who has development background and who had keen interest in operations. I think that's how we staffed our team. And then we literally, our concerns was not a storage. How do we rack and stack? It was not even there for us when we have embraced our cloud, right? So we built our skill set more on automation, on infrastructure as a code or application, pipeline as a code. I think that's, we were able to staff the engineers and we were able to train some of the engineers to get to that. But definitely, I got the opportunity to hire a lot of new engineers with these skill sets to be successful.
Cool. Yeah, thanks.
I think I saw, yeah, another question over here.
A lot of follow-up from the other gentleman's questions. So I think I'm going to lay upon your answers as well. So you mentioned you have you kind of own the DevOps team, but then you have a decentralized DevOps team embedded within the application team, right? Curious, like how do you manage the cloud governance? You said you have the cloud management office, but when we talk about cloud and deployment configuration, how do you manage the, I guess, the cloud security aspect of the system, right? I mean, a lot of the software engineers, application developer background doesn't have the security context or the deep security knowledge, but then everybody want to go fast. So how do you address that within your the culture of Albertsons?
So yeah, I think the biggest thing what we were able to do is, right, so my biggest challenge is the access control, because every developer thinks that they can do everything in any environment. And I, being a developer for a very long time, even I was under that impression. What's the big deal? Give me access. I know whatever I want, I can do it. But I think we have put a very strict access control policy, because production is something which we locked. So we didn't want anyone to access our production. We at least locked all our resources, but gave the needed access to access logs and stuff like that. I think we started our security from access itself. I think 80% of our security issues got addressed the moment we created privileged accounts versus dev accounts. So, and then we separated our dev environments with production environments completely in terms of network itself, like virtual networks. We completely separated them out. And then we applied NSG policies on every network system, and which is again automated. So we have similar kind of policies which we have developed for non-prod environments versus prod environments. And then we have not put all the workloads into a single subscription. We have divided them logically in such a way that we didn't go with too many subscriptions, but we also made it such a way that it's logically divided. And say, for example, I have two teams, and one team just works on certain set of APIs. So we basically bundle them together and put them into one virtual network, and then allowed them to access only those resources. But any cross communication, we have firewalled it. So it's like more like a, what do you say, we have our VNet pairing, which we usually do the VNet pairing. And then based on that, if you want to jump between two virtual networks, it has to always go through a firewall.
So in that scenario, who kind of own the management of the higher level control, right? So for example, you have teams that wanted to deploy, own the subscription, own the DevOps process, do all the provisioning, so they have all the power to do it themselves. And then you may have things that, okay, now you want to pair between this other subscription within all this different region, right? But then another layers is also, I'm also interested to know, like, what is your patching policy? Because typically there's always a drift, right?
Yes.
So you deploy a VM, something a little bit come out next month, patching, but then not always included in the DevOps process. Within your company, do you have like, I guess, a centralized organization?
I do have, we do have a centralized We have 3 centralized teams. InfoSec is one of the team who works very closely with us, but we also have a core networking team. So network is completely designed by them. So they have templates which we basically use them to develop network around it. And they do all the connectivity with express routes and everything. Patching is again automated for us, and for 90% of our workloads run on Linux-based systems. So what we do is we have adapted a simple patching strategy. We rebuild our VMs. So we don't patch them, we rebuild with the latest images, and we do it at an interval.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a follow-up question now, which is that one thing I've seen is, containers make it so the developer, like, oh, you can use the container on your laptop and then move it to the cloud, or you can force people to do it all in the cloud. Are you guys allowing, No, you're not. Okay. So it's all got to be in the cloud.
On the
Got it.
Yes.
That
They have
solves a
their
lot of
dev
problems, too.
spaces, they have their dedicated spaces which they can work, and then we always clean up on a weekly basis.
Got it. Okay, great. I think we have time for, we don't have time.
We are done.
Okay,
so.
we'll have to take your questions outside, but thank you everybody for coming, and this has been a great audience. Thank you.
Thank you.